Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? Hope you're good, I hope you're well. I'm coming to you now with an unexpected live stream. The reason I'm doing that is because we've got some important news to share about Axie Infinity. Stay tuned, give us a minute. We're going to get right into this. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? Hello. I hope you're good. I hope you're well. I need to sort that camera out. It seems to have moved. How are you doing? How are you doing? Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Right, let's jump straight into this. I'm going to change the camera around right now. I wasn't planning on doing a stream just yet. We're doing one a bit later. But literally 5 minutes ago, this has just dropped. And this is big. There's a lot to unpack in here. A lot of news. A lot of things to consider. This is going to affect scholars across the board. And so we need to look at the good, the bad, the reasons. We need to have a conversation about this. So I'm going to just figure out why the chat's not turned on, because that's not a good thing. Just bear with me a second. I don't know why that chat's not there. Let me just figure the chat out and find out why it's not showing up. Please just give me a second to just quickly fix that. Okay. 1 second. Let me do that. Okay. Let me fix the chat. Okay. I don't know why the chat's not coming on. So, let me try and add it again. Let me just do that. 1 second. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm here. But I don't know why. For some reason, the chat is not showing up. And I want to see the chat because I want to have this conversation with you. And I think it's very, very important that you're able to voice and say the things that you need to say. So, okay, here we go. The chat's in. Okay, that's good. Let me move the chat down. Cool. All right, and then I will figure out just what is going on with that and why it wasn't working properly. I don't know right now. I can't answer that question, but we will figure that out. But for now, the chat's in. That's the main thing. So, give me a message if you can. Let me test that chat out, please. I want to make sure it's working. I'm just going to open it up in a new window. All right, here we go. Hey, right, I can see some of the messages. So, yeah, just ping me a message in the chat if you're there. I just want to see the chat working. I want to make sure it is working. So just type hi. There we go. Hey, John, how you doing? Thank you so much. Right, that works. Awesome. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about what is going on with Axie Infinity. All right? This is the upcoming Season 20 and economic balancing adjustments. The economic balancing adjustments are really what we need to talk about here. Hey, good morning, Maria. Good morning. Hey, Honorable Shogun. How you doing? Carl, hello. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yep, the chat is working. If you have any questions about this as we're talking, please let me know. I will answer them all. Okay, I'm here for you to be able to unpack this and to be able to kind of go through all of the things that we need to go through. So that's one of the things that I want us to be able to do here. I want us to be able to go through this together. And so that you're not on your own just trying to kind of unpack all this on your own. So, key points. Adventure mode SLP will be sunset. Sunset means it will be reduced to 0. It's going to be. So adventure mode SLP reduced to 0. Okay. Daily quest SLP will be sunset, reduced to 0. This is not a bad thing. You might initially look and go, but how am I going to earn my SLP now? Well, a different way to look at that is going to be, well, the SLP that I earn is going to be worth more. So would you rather have more of something that's worth less or less of something that's worth more? Okay. What it does mean is that you're going to need to spend more time in arena, which means that you're going to need to focus on your competitive gameplay in that mode. But don't forget, there will be more game modes that come out in the future. Arena is just one part of Axie. Arena reward structure will be changed dramatically. Reduced SLP rewards and AXS leaderboard massively expanded. So reduced SLP and AXS massively expanded. So we're going to be focusing more on AXS than SLP. And that is also something with the upcoming Axie League that we're building, where we're focusing more on AXS than SLP. And that's something else to consider. In fact, one of the things that we are considering at the moment is an SLP burn mechanic to be able to enter the league and the payouts to be in AXS. Just something else that we're considering. So, with that being said, sub 800 MMR players will now earn 1 SLP per win. We want to be considerate for players with weaker Axies, so we're adding this back in for now. That means that you will be able to earn SLP, but SLP as well is just... This is where you have to consider, well, what about the bots that are playing the game? Now these bots are going to be able to earn 1 SLP. What if they ramp up that bot mechanic to be able to just massively farm SLP? Well, this is where obviously they'll have to consider that. We are considering reworking the energy system to scale more linearly, in more of a linear fashion, making additional energy more accessible and boosting demand for weaker Axies. So again, they're focusing again on these weaker Axies and trying to ensure that people that are just, you know, you could be in a scholarship right now where your scholarship manager has just thrown you with a team of chops, and you might be thinking, well, they're worthless. Well, what the team are saying is that they're aware of that. And even if you're struggling in arena at the lower levels, they want you to know that they are considering helping out and how that will look. So, Season 20 is close, and when it's released, a variety of important economic balances changes will be implemented. Now, what I'm interested in is that this is launched just a few minutes ago. Okay, this launch come out. And what I want to know is, with this, is there going to be any change? Any change to the graphs? So I'm just going to open up very quickly TradingView, just very quickly as we're talking. Hey Cody, hope you're well. We're going to have a look at AXS, all right, which we can see right now. There's been a slight pump in AXS. Now remember, this news only came out just ever so slightly, like 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. So already, based on this news that's come out, we can see we've already had a 1%. It's not really a lot, 1%, right? And look at SLP. Look at SLP. Look what's happening at the moment. So, SLP that was down here, it was sitting down here at like 88, 87 cents. Again, this was just within the last hour. And look right now, look. 6%. So, already up 6% right now, just from this news breaking. So, one thing you need to know is that when this news breaks, it has these impacts on the market. And I was talking just recently about this and about, like, what does this mean? What will it do? Well, you can already see, you know, by buying up earlier on just an amount of SLP and holding on to it, already it's up almost 10% just on the breaking of this news. So far, positive news in the marketplace just on the news breaking. Just on the news breaking itself. Great. Look, I'm just saying, if you went out and bought like $100,000 worth of SLP, you're going to be laughing right now. You're going to be in a good place if you did that. So let's go back to this. I don't know anyone who did that, but if you did that, you'd be in a good place right now. So the state of our digital nation. From the onset, our mission within Axie Infinity has been to create engaging, fun, and rewarding game experiences for everyone. We believe this is best enabled on top of open, decentralized foundations that allow everyone to collectively contribute, work together, and prosper as a community. Okay. That said, finding balance amongst all of the above dynamics is an ongoing process. While we've all experienced the euphoria that comes with incredible growth and prosperity, we've also more recently entered into a period of economic uncertainty. We all feel this pinch, which has made the last few months difficult for everyone. I think we all agree and understand that it's been challenging. In short, we think it's critical to ensure that a healthy, predictable economy evolves over time, and we take the responsibility of the economic balance within Axie extremely seriously. We believe that the fastest way to reduce this volatility is for us to all come to terms with our collective responsibilities within Axie and quickly work to build a consensus and enable each other's community efforts. Prosperity amongst a community comes when it collectively creates more value than it consumes. What that means is that you are not going to be able to benefit from SLP and from Axie by mindlessly click farming. You will need skill and you will need to add value to be able to be rewarded. And that is a big change. And the people that are going to be upset by this the most are the lazy people who want to consume but not contribute. Those that are not willing to put in the work and effort, the ones that expect everything for nothing, those are going to be the loudest. You will see them, you will recognize them. I recommend you avoid them. And definitely don't be one of them. Understand what is happening here. This is not bad news. On January the 4th, we released a dev journal, economic balancing post with 3 goals. To create a framework for the community dialogue around economic balancing, to prepare the community for upcoming economic changes, and most importantly, to seek community input. As we discussed in the post, inflation of SLP has been very high, with around 4x more SLP being created per day than burned through breeding. As we are building more burn mechanics, we are also looking at where we can strategically reduce issuance in order to balance the economy. Okay, they are well aware. So let's have a look at this. SLP mints and burns, and this is as of the 26th of January 2022. In terms of minting, 183 million. 183 million SLP mints. Burns, 48. You can see just by this graph from May 2021, when we had that pump in the market. Okay, we had we had kind of like the May crash, didn't we? And then like kind of June and July, we saw Axie begin to take off. And look, you can see all the way up into November when it just was through the roof. Into December at its peak, where it peaked at those moments. And it just kind of, it's been consistent, pretty much consistent since November towards the end of the year. But when you look at the burning mechanics have just not matched at all. As a result now, we have reached just ridiculous mint rates. 3-to-1, in fact. There is far more SLP being created each day than is being burned. It's as simple as that. It is not economically viable or sustainable to be able to continue with this model, which is why we need these changes. Your feedback regarding the dev update post was incredible. We were blown away by the response, and many of the proposals, after careful review of the proposals and a deep dive into the data, we've landed on our next set of actions. So they listened to the community, not the Twitter comments. That's not the community. They listened to the people that set forth a considered approach, an intelligent approach to how to deal with this economy from very, very intelligent people, well-rounded Very, very articulate, very, very balanced opinions. They've taken it all into consideration, and that takes time. And that time is why nothing has happened yet, because they need to be sure that what they do has a positive impact. It affects many, many lives. So, elimination of adventure mode and daily quest rewards. Let's start with a brief review of the recent mint rates with the current battles experience. Here we go. So we can see just by looking at this how much is SLP is generated and the percentage of where this comes from. So at the moment, 16% coming from quest, 40% from PvE, player versus environment, and 44% from player versus player. So what they're talking about doing now is removing 56%. 56%. And that was then. If you get to here, it's actually more. It's like 58%. And so that was kind of November of last year, but we can see the idea. In short, roughly 40% of SLP is created from adventure mode, roughly 44% of SLP is created from PvP, and the remainder is from players claiming their daily quest. We can see that adventure mode and PvP receive roughly equivalent rewards. This does not line up with the principles that will make Axie succeed. Namely, in-game rewards should be used to incentivize social activities that improve the ecosystem, and in-game rewards must be earned as a result of skilled activity in the ecosystem. Only by adhering to these principles can we work together for a future where in-game tokens have real value. As a first measure to stabilize the economy, we have removed the 50 SLP that can be earned from adventure mode each day. This alone will remove around 130 million SLP per day. Per day. Adventure mode was originally conceived as a way for the community to learn how to use their Axies. It has outlived its purpose as a way for people to earn from the game. It's far more important to use precious SLP for incentivized skilled gameplay in the arena. Where there are more players queuing for the arena, this increases the likelihood that you will match quickly with someone of your skill level. We think of this as player liquidity, and it is worth rewarding. Next, let's look at the daily quest. We can see that this alone is generating about as much SLP as is burned through breeding each day, and clearly that is not sustainable. The daily quest in principle was great to encourage people to play every day, but it's now become a mass emission mechanism for SLP. By removing a daily quest, we are able to reduce issuance by around 45 million SLP per day. We love the idea of quests and hope to reintroduce a quest mechanism in the future though, through Origin. But this will need to come in tandem with new burn mechanics from new features. We know that this is a painful medicine. An Axie economy requires drastic and decisive action now, or we risk total and permanent economic collapse. And that would be far more painful. I think we can all agree that if Axie don't make changes, they will implode. And they're on the brink right now. I mean, the toxicity on social media itself has been so challenging. It has been so bad. And we have seen people that have just flooded away and left Axie to go to Pegaxie or all of these other games, whether it's like Bomb Crypto or whatever it might be. We've seen people just desperately scavenging the internet, looking for the next Web3 based click farming play to earn game. And the reality is that the bots are doing this much more effectively than the people are. But there are people that are just not willing to learn. And we've seen it. I've seen it in my own community. People that have left quietly without even mentioning anything to go to another game. And it's difficult when people rely on this for income. It's difficult. And Sky Mavis know this. They're not bad people. They're just dealing with the problems that are in front of them and trying to do it in an effective way. Sometimes that just takes time. So, revamped PvP reward structure. Even after these changes, we are still left with a situation where PvP mode is generating roughly double the amount of SLP that is burned per day. Is there a way to address this as well? Well, let's look at the arena leaderboard and the pillar of Axie Infinity, AXS. In Season 20, we distributed around 3,000 AXS to the top 1,000 players of the leaderboard. This is paltry compared to the amount of the 1.5 million AXS that is distributed to stakers each month and the millions of AXS per quarter that's available in the gaming budget allocation. This was purposefully in the past, as we've felt that AXS allocations should be reserved for when our game is more polished and ready for mainstream adoption. However, we believe these current circumstances require decisive action. And here we go, we can see. For Season 20, we've expanded the number of leaderboard slots to 300,000. And we've increased the amount of AXS we're giving out to 117,676. This will supercharge the competitive Axie scene and create more demand for quality Axie teams in the ecosystem. This equates to a $6 million equivalent prize pool for Season 20. That's right now. That's a $6 million prize pool for Season 20 right now. Let's just remind ourselves briefly where AXS sits in terms of value. $47. $47. Let's remind ourselves at where it was sitting just November last year. November last year, we sat at a peak of about $160. Okay? We are sitting, let's just say now, we're sitting at 50. Okay? That means that if we was to experience a 200% growth to get back to all-time highs, that this reward season would be worth $18 million. That is an $18 million prize pool should AXS reclaim its all-time highs. Just think about that for a moment. Do you believe that Axie or AXS is ever going to breach all-time high? Yes? Okay. So if you do, and you were to win or consider everybody who won a prize pool in the leaderboard held it until all-time highs, then that means that the value of what they're giving out at the moment is $18 million. Because markets are down and everything that's happening, we have to accept that it is $6 million right now. Now, let me just have a quick check of something, because we were looking a minute ago at SLP. So we were looking at the price of SLP, and I just want to I just want to open this up. I want to scroll down here and I want to have a look at this, because, as I said, just imagine for a moment, just imagine if you, hold on, whoa, because I sold and bought back in. I sold and bought back in. Let's just imagine that you, anybody that knows and has seen me on Twitter, imagine if you were to have bought 100k of SLP, yeah? And imagine if you bought it with the fact that you knew something was going to happen. All right, now I just want to bring your attention, just briefly, I just want to bring your attention to Twitter. Now, let's go through my Twitter, and let's go back just shortly, not that far back. Let's go back just a week or two, maybe. Hold on, let me think. When was this? When did this happen? Let's go back. I realize now that I tweet far too much. But let's go back just a little bit more, not too far, a little bit more. And I remember a post that I put out in my community when I said, where was it? Where did I put it? I know it was here. I know I did it. I know there was a post. Hold on. Here we are, 27th of January. I'm either very, very smart or very, very stupid. I've just put in a long order for SLP for $100,000. I have 100% faith in Axie Infinity, Jiho, and everything the team at Sky Mavis are doing to look after the community. I also think GameFi will be the first to recover. So, let's have a look, shall we? From when this news broke to right now, it's already up 15% right now. SLP is up 8% since, since the beginning of the day. And my investment right now is up 7.7%. So with 100,000 investment, that currently means I've made about $7,000 just off of that news breaking alone. I'm interested to see where this lands as we move forward. I'm very interested to see what happens. So we will continue to monitor this. And yeah, let's just say that I saw this coming. I knew this was going to happen. It had to happen. A lot of people are saying Axie is dead and Axie Infinity are dead, but no, the reality is it's far from dead. It's just people don't understand how these markets work. Yep, a lot of people are asleep. A lot of people have been asleep for a while. A lot of people have been sleeping for far too long. Some of us are woke. Some of us have got our eyes wide open. Even if it is in the Philippines right now, nearly 4 a.m. For Season 20, they've made all of these changes, okay? This will allow us to further adjust arena awards. The highest levels will have their rewards the most effective, as they will also have more AXS rewards to compete for. In addition, we will be adding back 1 SLP per win for players under 800 MMR. This will bring in some utility to weaker Axies and encourage players to practice, even if they're still learning or having difficulty with the game. Advancements with our bot detection system, as well as reduced earnings for bots, have made reintroduction of these rewards possible. It's good news. Okay, so 1 SLP up to 1000 MMR. So we really need to be focusing right now. You need to be over 1000 MMR. You really do. Okay? 1000 to 1100, free SLP. 1100 to 1300 is being reduced to 5 SLP. So right now, I can tell you that the rank default, which is where you should be, is at 1200 MMR. That is where you should be starting. You should not be going down. Not if you're in our guild anyway. So everybody should be able to get 5 SLP per win. Absolute minimum. That is, you just have to be there. That is just going to be, moving forward, that is going to be a requirement. As soon as Season 20 drops, that is going to be a requirement for all of our scholars. Okay? 1200 MMR is going to be the minimum. You have to be 1200 MMR. So, when the Season 20 starts, you will be at 1200 MMR. You will have a 100 MMR window that you can drop to. But you have to recover. And the higher you get, the better. But 1200 is going to be our baseline. If you fall under 1200, you have 100 MMR as a window to recover. If you fall under 1100 MMR, you've then got another 100 window. But at that point, starting to tread on thin ice. If you go under 1000 MMR, then we need to have conversations about whether Axie is the right game for you. Because right now, in a competitive scene, for the scholarship model, we have to be realistic. You have great teams. If other people can do it, there's no reason you can't. And there is no excuse for people with all of the information out there to not be able to play this game. There's no excuse. You have access to scholar trainers. You have access to the best coaches in the game. You have access to all of the information that you need to help you to be better at this game. And in the worst case scenario, you have access to replace your Axie if needed. But what we will not do is we will not replace Axies just for the sake of replacing Axies. Oh, but these worked better the other week. Oh, I could play better with that team. Doesn't work like that. I know people who could take your team and that could be better with it. So, if that's possible, then why can't you? This is something, and this is what we have to accept. This is the reality of the ecosystem that we live in. And so we have to be able to make these changes. Again, decisive action. We have to be able to do this to move forward. But that being said, Axie isn't for everybody. And if you can't make it as a scholar in Axie, that's absolutely fine. There's no reason for you to be stressed, upset, worried. We have other games. There's Sunflower Land. There's Venari, Legends of Venari. There's so many other games out there that you can play. Just as a few examples. You know, there's Gods Unchained. There's Honeyland that's going to be launching soon. There's D-Race. There's all of these other entities that you could be involved in. Axie was the first and the greatest, but it doesn't mean it's the only one. So you have to consider now, is Axie for you? And maybe it's not, and that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But we do need to consider these new requirements as we move forward. So, with that being said, 13 to 1500, 6 SLP. 15 to 1800, 8 SLP. Again, big reductions now. 18 to 2000, down to 10 SLP. Now, you might think to yourself, oh, we're losing 5 SLP a win. Yes. Yes, you are. However, those 5 SLP were worthless. Wouldn't you rather have 5 SLP less if that SLP was worth more? Better the value of the coin is worth more than the number. We've seen what happens when big numbers are printed. They lose value. So this is a good thing. Yes, you will earn less, but what you earn will be worth more. Remember that. It's very important. Okay. And 2000 plus is going to be 12 SLP per win. Okay, good. Right, increased burn. As we discussed in the last month's dev update, long term, we need to bring a variety of fun burn mechanics and economic sinks to the table. This a comprehensive approach includes, but is not limited to, special cosmetics and skins, upgraded Axie body parts, in-game emojis, breeding events, buy-in tournaments, Axie naming. For example, one of the upcoming token sinks that will be introduced through Origin is a system of crafting tokenized power-ups that augment the strength of your Axie. Some players may also be wondering why we haven't released vertical progression for your Axies. This is a good question. As Axie owners ourselves, we've been patiently waiting since 2018 for Axie upgrading as well. Put it simply, we've prioritized growth of onboarding millions. Without this approach, it's likely that Axie would have remained small, niche game with a few thousand players. Whilst that's great for many projects, our aspiration is to onboard over 1 billion gamers into Web3 and change the internet forever. Those are big goals. 1 billion gamers in Web3. It's not going to happen with a few thousand players. Big dreams, big goals, big actions. As we get closer to a product that we believe is ready for traditional gamers, we will deliver on our promise to add vertical progression and ways for you to actually spend your in-game tokens as a way to improve your Axies step by step. Now here's what we need to consider. That brings in an element of pay to win. So we need to be careful that with this happening, it doesn't turn into a pay to win game. The process for introducing these features is complex. Here's how it works. Feature is designed and refined by the game product team and the game design team. Requirements are delivered to the art team for implementation. The art team works to make something magical. The finished artwork is delivered to the game engine and the UX team for implementation. Engineers execute and seamlessly integrate the completed feature. All in all, small features can take months to implement. Energy rework. One issue that will arise from the elimination of rewards for adventure mode is that the utility of non-PvP Axie will be decreased. But what if there is a way to add utility to these Axie without requiring them to be directly powerful in the arena? Right now, our current energy system is a bit strange. There are some incentives for players to upgrade to 10 and 20 Axies, but it's actually more energy efficient to split up 9 Axies on 3 separate accounts and give them to scholars than it is to buy your 10th from the marketplace for the extra energy. We can address this by making energy scale more linear. I can't say that word. by adding additional tiers and making sure that the energy per Axie added to each account gives sufficient incentive to avoid splitting Axie up or multi-accounting. This would create utility for basic floor Axies that is more accessible to the everyday player. We haven't implemented this yet as it will take some more time on the engineering side, but it's something we're pushing internally right now. We wanted to share our thinking on this with you in the spirit of being more open with the community. So potentially seeing a big energy rework. The future. We believe that these economic changes will allow us to start righting the ship and getting the economy moving in the right direction. We know that it is going to be the key to execute on delivering new burning mechanics this year. These issuance reductions will not be enough to get our economic engine back to full strength, but they are a needed step as we build towards a fully functioning and sustainable economy. When Origin is released, it will be very important for us to share a roadmap of the coming features and the economic sinks that will be added as we iterate quickly on the game. We also like to give a special shout out to AK, JD Hyper, DeFi Vader, Dave vs Axie, and all of the 8 other great community members that helped further shape our thinking on these changes. Now, I had a great call with AK the other night for several hours, and I can say that as the godfather of the scholarship model, that gentleman is incredibly knowledgeable in this space. He has a wealth of knowledge and balance, and to be an advisor to Sky Mavis gives me great confidence in the ability for them to listen, to consider, and to take action. And not only on AK, but Dave vs Axie and everybody else. As you well know with Dave vs Axie, my first introduction into this space was a conversation with him on his live stream. And we've stayed in touch and we've spoken, and he is a very, very important, influential advocate for this game and has remained a constant throughout this space. So some great, I don't unfortunately know the others, but some great people to follow in this space. And I'm really glad that they got a mention and that they had their articles added here. I think it's nice to see those hyperlinks. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the news for today. So, any thoughts, any comments, anything that you would like me to go through? What is your opinion on what we've just shared? Be interesting to get your feedback. And right now, I will go through and I will talk about... Oh, there's the correction. Oh, we did make it back up over $1. Let's see how we do here. I'm still going to hold that out. I'm going to hold out for 1.5. I have a sell order in at 1.5. So if we do manage to get up, to that $10,000 profit, just off that news alone, that will be nice. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so didn't know I was streaming this late, Cody. I wasn't planning to, but it felt important. People can watch this when they wake up. Higher skills, more SLP, more competitive gaming. That means more breeding, more good for Axie. Absolutely, Michael. Those who still aren't learning from coaches. Oh, yeah. Get ready for you noobs, coaches, and helpers. We're going to be in a lot of work this month. Yes, Cody. Absolutely. Absolutely, there'll be a lot of work this month. But it's good. That's what we're here for, right? That's what we're building. Even though I'm not a coach, I can help Coach Cody, but I'm not that good. Hey, don't put yourself down. The fact that you're here, it's good enough. When this happens, we'll be minting around 45 million only, which will be under minting right now. It will happen. Burning more than minting. But it's definitely better. That's November. This year, AK said it was more than 70%. Yeah, it's definitely increased. It's exponentially grown. Competitive Axies will be so much more now. That's why we need to buy them quickly. Good thing we got ahead. Yep, absolutely. We're going to buy some more, don't you worry. A lot of people are asleep right now. I get that. So excited to see Burnley finally overtaking minting and increased demand. Steve, Husker misses you. I've still been playing Husker. Not much, but I have. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate right now that it is very late over in the Philippines. It is currently 7:30 at night here in the UK. This update was unexpected, but I wanted to give you the rundown of the latest update and what you can expect. This is not going to fix the problem, but it is a great step in the right direction. This is something which we need to appreciate is going to take time. Okay, it's 3:37 a.m. for you. Wow, okay. This is going to take time. It's not a quick fix. It's not do this and it all works. We still need Origin. We still need more burning mechanics. We still need another 6 to 12 months. Just remember that. We need another 6 to 12 months. You have to be thinking about this long term. So what do we do in the meantime? Well, in the meantime, whilst we're waiting for Axie to recover, and we love Axie and we support Axie and we will stand by Axie. But whilst we wait for Axie to recover, we can look at other games, and we will be looking to onboard our scholars into Genopets, into Sunflower Farms, into all of the other games like Legends of Venari, all of the games, into Honeyland, into all of the games that we're beginning to work with. All of these games we will be working towards. So we're going to be fine. Get some rest. I will be streaming again in just under 4.5 hours time. So 4 hours and 15 minutes I will be back for a stream with the core team and the designers of Legends of Venari. Alright, I'll speak to you soon.